This week's topic is bald eagles, and this is in honor of this being Eagle Days at Los Bluffs National Wildlife Refuge up north of here, about an hour and a half, straight up I-29. They do this every year. They have been for many years. I attended it, worked it for the Missouri Department of Conservation my first winter here in Missouri in 1992, and have been almost every year since then. We take a group up there to see one of the true spectacles of nature. And people of Missouri and Northwest Missouri especially, I don't know, many of you don't realize how lucky we are to have the chance to see this. This is truly something that everybody should experience at least once. So what happens is the waterfowl species that we see here in winter, that is all the Canada geese, and no, not all of them, but the Canada geese, the snow geese, and the mallards, and all the other ducks. Most of those birds nest at the top of the world, and up in the northern Canada provinces and the Arctic Circle. A lot of the species nest up there, and they have a short nesting window, and they have to get out of there before everything freezes up, which it already is up there. And those birds have to move south. And each fall, these birds move into the lower 48 states. And Missouri has the second largest wintering population of bald eagles in the lower 48. Because, only everybody asks, well, it has the number one. Well, Washington State has more because they get Alaska's birds in winter. So, but in Missouri, we're very well positioned between two major flyways. We have the Central Flyway, which is just to our west, and the Mississippi Flyway, which obviously is just to our east. And the waterfowl move down those flyways in winter, and they get funneled into wetland areas in our area, because these birds are looking for water that will be unfrozen for them, thus food available for them throughout the winter. And the first place that they hit of major significance is this Los Bluffs National Wildlife Refuge. And it's a shallow water impoundment, a lot of water available in shallow water for these dabbling ducks. These birds that you see tip upside down, they tip down, feed off of the vegetations at the bottom of the pools, and they can do this for quite a while until the water freezes over, which in here in Missouri, it's usually mid to late December before it all freezes over. So you have a window about 3 to 4 good weeks where you can go up and see the spectacle. Now we're going to turn the camera around here to the television screen. There, of course, is the star of our show today. But first, we're going to talk a little bit about what draws the birds here. These are snow geese. This photo was taken when the number at the refuge was a staggering 1.6 million snow geese on the refuge the day this was taken. And that gives you some idea as to how many birds can actually be on the refuge at one time. And it's not just snow geese. We have right now, I understand there's about 800 trumpeter swans on the refuge, which is amazing. The most I've ever seen up there. Lots of duck species. This is a green-winged teal. I understand their numbers are quite heavy this year. But all of these waterfowl gather in this pool, and these pools up here at Squaw Creek to eat while they can and fatten up before they get frozen over and have to be pushed further south into other parts of Missouri and across the south. So when you get that kind of number of prey, if you will, you're always going to get predators. And the predator that follows these birds down more than just about any, of course, are the bald eagles. The bald eagles are typically fish eaters, but our bald eagles are also quite opportunistic. And with you've got 1 million birds on the refuge, just the number of sick and dying birds that naturally occur in a population that size is going to be significant and be able to sustain a whole lot of predators by just eating the weak and sick birds that are there. And so we see that a lot. The trees around the refuge, I've seen 30 bald eagles in one tree at Squaw Creek before. It's quite impressive. Now, you might be looking at this picture and saying, well, wait a minute, Mark, that's not a bald eagle. It doesn't have a white head. It doesn't have a white tail. And that is what confuses a lot of people. Yes, one of the probably most recognizable birds on the planet is an adult bald eagle. That stunning white head and white tail the bright yellow bill, the perfectly brown, dark brown body. It's unmistakable, and bald eagles are amazing. But when you go, especially to a gathering of eagles, only about 1 out of 5 eagles you'll see will be adults. The rest of them will be immature birds, because bald eagles take 5 years to reach sexual maturity. Some can make it in 4, but when we talk about sexual maturity, we're talking about their plumage, and that is the fully white head and the white tail and the bright yellow bill. Immature birds that we see of different ages will be different degrees of mottling and different degrees of yellow in the bill, white in the face. They're probably the most confused people get is with, they want to call them golden eagles, and golden eagles are quite rare in Missouri, and golden eagles don't have the mottling on the chest that a young bald eagle will, or the mottling in the back. Young golden eagles are really dark chocolate brown all over, except white in the tail and some white in the windows of the wing, and they don't have as large a bill as a bald eagle does. But you will see lots more immature bald eagles than you will mature ones. And those guys are not only here, at Squaw Creek right now, they're starting to show up on all our area lakes around. Even small bodies of water will have an eagle or two that will winter around them, depending upon what food they have available to them. Let's see. An interesting thing, when you see a male and female eagle sitting together, close to each other, you can actually tell the sex by the size. Bald eagles, like a lot of birds of prey, exhibit what's called reverse sexual dimorphism, and that is the females are actually larger than the males. This is not true in a lot of songbirds, most songbirds, but in birds of prey it is true, and I think it mainly has to do with, of course, that the females have to carry the eggs and that additional weight. They need that additional size. But so in this picture, the female's on the right and the male is actually on the left. Let's see. One of the things, there's the one I wanted to show earlier. The dabbling, the shallow pools. We talked about the birds that dabble, and that is they reach down to get the vegetation at the bottom of the water, the bottom of the pools, and they can pull them up and eat on them. These are a bunch of swans feeding and doing that. And you'll get to see many wonderful sights up there at Squaw Creek. Like I said, Lusk Bluffs. You call a place that for 25 years, it's hard to switch real quickly. So the new name is Lusk Bluffs. We'll be leaving at 7 o'clock in the morning here from the store. We'll be back by about 4. And we will spend the day up there. It's quite spectacular. Weather's supposed to be nice. If you can't make it with us, I encourage you to load the family in the car, get up there, see this site before it freezes over and the birds get driven out. So. If you like the videos, please share them. Give us in ideas for future videos. And until then, come by. Let's talk birds.
2, 1.
Would you like to learn more about wild birds? You might want to hit that subscribe button.